Welcome back. Today I am joined by Dr. Seth Cohen and Dr. Josh Cohen, who are here on behalf of City of Hope, Orange County. Well, welcome both of you. Very nice to see you both today.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having us.
Great to be here.
Now, of course, I introduced you individually, but you are brothers and you are in a similar area of science. So let's get a background on both of you. Let's start with you, Seth. Tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got involved.
Sure. So thanks for the introduction. My name is Seth Cohen. I'm a urologist. My focus is on pelvic floor care. Some people would call it female urology or urogynecology. We could talk a little bit more about that. My background is Northwestern for undergraduate training in Chicago. Went to Northwestern for medical school, so go Big Ten if anyone's into Big Ten sports. And then subsequently went to UC San Diego for residency and then did fellowship training at UCLA. And I've been fortunate to work at City of Hope for about 6 years now, has been my timeline with the institution. And it's an amazing institution with doing a lot of good for a lot of people. And I feel very fortunate to be part of that mission.
Fantastic. And how about you, Josh?
Yes, hi. Wonderful to be here. My name is Josh Cohen. I'm a gynecologic oncologist with City of Hope, Orange County. And what that means is I focus on patients who have risk of gynecologic cancer or a family history of ovarian cancer where they may be at slightly higher risk, or precancers such as cervical dysplasia, vaginal dysplasia, abnormal pap smears. Like Seth, I did a medical school at Northwestern University and also undergrad as well. So we were both undergrad roommates and in medical school, which was great having your identical twin brother go through medical school with you. And I went to UC San Francisco for my OB/GYN residency, and then UCLA for my fellowship. And I just joined City of Hope to be a part of the new cancer center in Orange County as the medical director here for gynecologic cancer.
So when you were both at Northwestern, did you decide at the same time that you were going to have a similar type of area of study, or was there something that sort of led you to the particular studies you have?
You know, I would say that was not planned, actually. I think by nature, we both enjoyed disciplines in medicine that had surgical components and medical components, meaning you see patients in a clinical setting, but you also work with your hands and operate. And there's a certain set of disciplines that have that. I actually found urology, which for me had a lot of enticing aspects, working with robotics, some really innovative technology, working both in a surgery center setting on some large complex cases and big operating rooms. And that really drew me into that specialty of urology. Urology is a big specialty, though. It's not necessarily a guarantee you're going to go into female urology, urogynecology. That evolution for me happened during the course of my residency. And even then, when I went into that specialty, I never really presumed that Josh and I would be in a practice environment where we'd be working together. That really was complete happenstance, to be honest with you.
Right. That's amazing, but I guess it was sort of a destiny thing, right? You're both going in the same kind of area, and then all of a sudden you end up at the same place. So, Josh, tell me about how you sort of came this way, and then how you ended up at City of Hope.
Yeah, well, I will say that, as Seth said, we both really value that longitudinal relationship with patients, and to be able to do surgery and follow patients over time. With healthcare the way it is, it's becoming harder and harder to find those fields of medicine. Urology is one of those fields, and gynecologic oncology is one of those fields. What brought me to gynecologic oncology was my desire to both do cancer research and improve the way we treat patients with cancer. It's a unique field in that it's the only field in cancer care where you get to do the surgery with your patients and administer systemic treatments if there's an option for that. What brought me to City of Hope, Orange County was to really help deliver that level of cancer care with City of Hope. I had been at UCLA for many years. When City of Hope reached out and said they're building a new $1 billion center in Orange County, Seth and I grew up here in Yorba Linda. We grew up in Orange County. And so the opportunity to come back to Orange County with our families and to be able to provide that level of care. 20% of women leave, 20% of patients with cancer leave Orange County for cancer care. So we'd love to be able to provide that level of expertise here locally. And with Seth, I joke in that tongue in cheek, with cancer care, sadly, we do everything we can to treat the cancer, but we often cause other issues: pelvic floor prolapse, urinary incontinence, vaginal stenosis. And how unique that I now get to work with Seth, because he can help cure those things that we cause when we treat the cancer. So being able to meld the treatment of cancer with survivorship in a unique setting in an advanced cancer center in Orange County was something that I could not turn down.
So now the two of you live in a similar area. You both live, do you both live in Yorba Linda?
Well, we both live in actually in Irvine. We
Oh,
the City of Hope, Orange County, Lennar Cancer Foundation Cancer Center is in Irvine, and we live very close to it. So we are both
okay.
calling Irvine home and Orange County home again.
So I imagine the dinner table with you two at the, you know, at the sitting at the same table might be quite interesting. Do you ever chit chat about some of the things that you have going on with your patients?
I don't know if I would say chit chat. I would say it's, you know, we have a lot of common interests, and I think when that comes into play, that lends its well to great patient care. What has happened, even the first 4.5 months that we've been open here at City of Hope, is that already having mutual patients, the level of communication and integration really is at a whole nother level. If you can think of large, complex health systems where you're reaching out to providers that you may know peripherally, having your identical twin brother available to call and discuss a mutual patient with, where there's an ongoing complex condition, whether it's you know, in the office or by phone, or you know, rarely outside, you know, in a HIPAA compliant environment, you know, those are unique circumstances.
Exactly. And, you know, let's talk about the City of Hope Orange County Center, because it is magnificent. I've seen it, and boy, you guys offer an awful lot of things. So now that you both are there, what would you say is different about the facility than any other place you've worked?
You know, I would say that the level of integration in women's healthcare at our institution, it's going to be hard to find something that can compare in the area and the region. Like Josh said, we're really fortunate to have a superlative staff of physicians and support team members. Specifically for Josh and I, between the two of us, it's a real high level of integration for both pre-vivorship, trying to understand patients' needs leading up to a cancer intervention or treatment, during cancer intervention and treatment, and then ultimately after that treatment, really improving their quality of life and taking them to a point where they've gotten through probably the crux or the hard part of some of the cancer treatment, or maybe some of it's still ongoing, and then trying to take that to the next level. You know, there's such a close coordination between the two of us and between the team members we work with. It's really unparalleled, to be honest with you. I think we also are unique in the sense that we deal with some very complex, challenging cancer cases, but we also want to help patients with complex pelvic floor disorders in this community and region. Between Josh seeing patients with family histories of cancer, complex pap smear results, myself treating patients with incontinence, you don't necessarily need an active cancer diagnosis to come see us at City of Hope Orange County Lennar Foundation Cancer Center. This is really an institution where we're trying to elevate and provide a level of care that probably we don't really believe was here. And our goal is to really make that visible and apparent for everyone that comes to see us.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I think the patient-centered experience, you know, Laguna Woods is about 2 miles down the road. And when you think about it, to be able to offer this level of care to patients 2 miles down the road, we love to do. But there are many large health systems in Orange County. What I've heard from many patients is there's a lack of access, there's a lack of personal treatment plans, and they feel like a number. Really, our goal is to provide an excellent level of communication through a patient-centered experience. I think City of Hope, which I love about the health system, prides itself on that patient journey. And once you become a patient here, really your whole team is vested in you as members. And I think, you know, once we know who you are, you have access to us in a level that I really think is not comparable in many other health systems across the Southern California region.
Yeah, if you look at a lot of the challenges that people face when it comes to pelvic floor disorders and reproductive health, people don't talk about it. You know, it's something that's part of a quick primary care visit, or perhaps part of a quick general OB/GYN visit. And there's so many ways now we can improve someone's quality of life.
Right.
Pads, diapers, defecatory dysfunction. You know, these are things you don't need to suffer with. And you know, sometimes I would see patients and I wouldn't know where to send them to if I saw a concerning lesion on the vaginal canal, or if there was something concerning on an ultrasound. Well, now I've got Dr. Josh Cohen to send them to. So, and guess what? We get them in and we see them within a week or two. And it's such a synthesized system. It's kind of fun to watch.
And, you know, technology's changed quite a bit over the last probably just a couple of years regarding these types of ailments that people are dealing with. Have you noticed?
Absolutely. You know, when I think about even 7 years ago, when I was out of training, we can offer so much more now. I see patients that come in with these processes they've been suffering with for literally years. I mean, they can barely walk in some instances with some of the pelvic floor challenges they have. And we do literally an outpatient surgery, outpatient robotic minimally invasive surgery here in the surgery center at City of Hope Orange County Lennar Foundation Cancer Center. and they go home the same day. They go home
Wow.
the same day, and they come back to see me 2 weeks later. The smile is from here to
Yeah.
here. Now that's what we live for. Not every patient's experience is like that because people have different diseases and challenges, but it just examples of like that. Gosh, wow, it's so satisfying to impact someone's quality of life like that and make a difference.
Right.
For technology, I think Seth hinted at the surgical technology, which we have here, including the latest and greatest with robotic surgery and radiation techniques. I will say one of the things that's amazing about City of Hope Orange County from a treatment level is the clinical trials. I think that's something that is offered here that's unique that you're not going to find other places. It really, as a cancer doctor, is like being a kid in a candy store because we have so many different clinical trials that we can offer patients, which are not available in many other places locally. And one of the reasons that I've met patients who would drive to see me at UCLA or perhaps other larger cancer centers in the LA area, we can now offer that locally. So patients don't, the 20% of people who are leaving Orange County don't have to leave. They can see us and have the benefit of those clinical trials 2 miles down the road.
You know, when I had interviewed Annette Walker some time ago, that was one of the biggest things that she was talking about was your clinical trials capabilities for that exact reason is you don't really get any of that around here. I mean, you hear about it maybe once in a while, but not as often as you guys do it. So I think that's really a wonderful addition. Plus, you also can ask people to participate in those clinical trials locally, which is great because before, as you know, Duarte is a long drive and many people wouldn't want to go that far. Now it's right in their backyard. So that's one of the wonderful, wonderful things about City of Hope here in Orange County. I wanted to talk about Cervical Cancer Awareness Month. So cervical cancer can start at a young age. And I know that there was I believe it's at the HPV. Was that, and I know that our audience isn't necessarily something that they have to worry about. However, if they have grandchildren at that age, talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, there are two aspects that you brought up that are really important. One is Cervical Cancer Awareness Month. We know that human papillomavirus or HPV infection causes 80% of cervical cancers. We also know that most people are exposed to HPV during their teenage years or at the time of sexual debut. We have a very effective HPV vaccine. So for the grandparents who are watching this, or the great grandparents, talk to your sons, your daughters, your grandkids. The most effective way to prevent or to cure cancer is to prevent it. And the HPV vaccine is extremely effective. So OBGYNs, primary care doctors can all administer this. My kids are going to get vaccinated when they're old enough, and I would highly recommend it. But the second aspect of this is that cervical cancer sadly kills 4,000 women a year in the US. And it's a cancer where we're seeing a higher rate of late stage of presentation. So even though we have the HPV vaccine, the women who are presenting with more advanced disease, stage 3, stage 4, and these are not often curable cancers. I would encourage people who are listening, and HPV can impact you throughout your life, whether you're 45 or 65. Chronic HPV infection or 85 can cause vulvar cancer, can cause cervical cancer. If you're having abnormal bleeding, if you're having pelvic pain or discomfort, if you've been told you may have a cancer, seek out a specialist in City of Hope Orange County, or at least check in with your OBGYN or primary care doctor. But you're right, HPV vaccine is an amazing medical advancement. Grandmas, grandpas, talk to your kids, your grandkids, get them vaccinated.
And then in regards to, those of us who didn't have the HPV vaccine way back when, how important is it, Seth, for us to make sure that we get our regular checkups?
Oh, I mean, I would say this. I got an HPV vaccine just a few years ago as a mature man. And I think what's interesting is, and I'm going to let Josh answer the specifics of this because he's our gynecologic oncologist. He's going to give you the exact answer. But I will say this, it's for men and women. I think that's what sometimes get lost when you talk about an HPV vaccine for cervical cancer. Men really should get vaccinated just as much as women because it's something that's passed between men and women during the course of a contact. And so it's not a vaccine just for women. Absolutely should be both for men and women at the appropriate age. Josh, what do you want to answer that specific?
Yeah, so physical exams are extremely important. And in the day and age of telemedicine, and also with the COVID pandemic, we're seeing less people seek care. We also know that because of insurance challenges, people aren't able to seek care. And we want to overcome that. We all are very concerned that with the pandemic and people perhaps not doing their routine checkups, for instance, pap smears and HPV testing, we're going to see an increase in cervical cancer in the next 2 to 5 years, where we've been seeing somewhat of a steady decrease due to the HPV vaccine. So see your OBGYN, see your primary care doctor. doing an exam to check the cervix, which is straightforward to do, can be life-saving if there's a mass or an abnormality. Also can be really important for your quality of care, as Dr. Sefcoin has hinted, no one needs to suffer in silence with incontinence, with pelvic organ prolapse, and those are things that are easily identifiable on a physical exam. And so we want to partner with you. I encourage you to advocate for yourself. If you're having symptoms, please seek someone for an exam, and they'll get you plugged in, or find us at City Hope Orange County.
Thank you both so much. I really appreciate you taking the time, and good information for all of our viewers.
Well, it's a pleasure to be. Thank you so much for giving us this avenue to make this known. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Lisa. We're so appreciative, and we're so thankful for this opportunity, especially with Cervical Cancer Awareness Month. And thank you for helping us get the word out about City Hope Orange County and the help we can offer too.
You're welcome. And if you want more information about anything that we have discussed, you can always go to cityofhope.org/OC. We'll be right back.